Tell me
Okay.
a little bit more about yourself, and then we'll get into the topic of today's episode.
Sure. I started out in education. I was a teacher. I taught students with disabilities, ADHD, learning disabilities, mostly also general education students. I did that since about the mid '90s, so a while. I was doing this for a while, and learning a lot. Learning from my students, learning from my coursework, learning from all of the things that I did. And over time, we all started to learn more about ADHD. So I learned a lot more. And as time went on, especially as we started to hit, around the pandemic, things like that, ideas that I'd had that perhaps I had ADHD really started to get strong. Um, I had I had played with the idea for a long time. I had thought about it and I'd ask people and they'd say, oh no, you couldn't possibly have ADHD because you've done all these things. So often we think about, the 8-year-old boy who is totally unable to control his impulses and is jumping all over the place when we think about ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
But more and more things happened and we learned more and I learned more. And I finally got to the point where I went to a doctor and I said, these are all the reasons. This is what's going on. This is where kind of some of the grief is. I mean, we've all been through grief, and the pandemic brought a lot of grief, but my husband died suddenly,
Oh no, I'm
rather
so sorry.
traumatically. And shortly after that is when I decided to leave education. I was in a place where I could do this, and I wanted to go out and start doing my own thing and working with people in the real world, people out there doing things. And over time, and as I learned and lived and experienced more about grief and ADHD, it just became more of a passion of mine. And while that helped a little bit, it didn't really help. And the more I learned, the more I came to these conclusions that we needed to be looking at something else. So now I reach out, I try to listen to people, work with people who have ADHD and other things. Some of the stuff I call it is plus one, if it's grief, if it's other things. I just last week met with somebody who was just so deep into it, and I just I just kind of held her hand over the Zoom. Honey, I see what you're going through, and
Yeah.
I've been there, and my heart goes out to you, and we're gonna work it out.
And I think that's what a lot of people relate to, is that,
Yeah.
you've been through it. So like, it's not like you're just some person, oh, well, I'm an educated
Yeah.
with this, and then they've never gone through these things. I think that people that go through these things, it's a lot more relatable for people, because then they don't be so standoffish. They're like, well, what does this person know? And you're like, no, I've been through this. I know what you're going through.